So if you found this video, I just want to say congratulations. You are somebody who has started to recognize who you actually truly really are. You're somebody who's probably gone through quite a lot of difficult things to get to this point. But actually now you are starting to see glimpses of your true power, because actually what you are is a incredibly powerful creative being. You are actually source energy in human form, experiencing itself through the vehicle of being a human, through the personality constructs, the ego identity, all of those things. We are ultimately source energy, just experiencing itself and, growing and expanding itself in all of the situations, places, people, and things that we experience in our human life. So, so well done. I'm excited to be on this journey with you. And there are many more people that are starting to begin this journey and starting to realize and starting to see and starting to awaken to their true gifts and abilities. And actually, just really starting to expand and want to play in this place that we're in this game that we're in. And it's so exciting because up until this point, we've all been creating unconsciously, but we've just been creating through our values and beliefs that I've talked about many times on my videos, but we've all been operating through those without realizing that those are the things that are being projected out of us, because that's the energy within us, and what is within is without, and that's what's being reflected back to us in our external world. And as we are so incredibly powerful, what we've actually done here is we have placed lots of situations, places, people, and things on our journey, on our life path, that have been signposts guiding us back to ourselves, guiding us back to our true origin, our true power. And that's been the point of the game, which is quite exciting to realize. So everything has been perfect, everything, even the most difficult and challenging things. And I know there might be people thinking, but I have a really debilitating illness, I have a really awful relationship, but all of those things you have placed on your path. And once we get to a certain level of understanding, we are able to completely take responsibility for ourselves and completely own all of those things that we've created in our lives, whether we've done that consciously or unconsciously. And mostly it's been unconscious up until this point. Now, the exciting part about this is that now we're remembering and we're starting to get a glimpse of who we are. We can now start to create consciously. And it might just be when we are a little bit like, I feel a little bit like myself, like when you watch a baby start to crawl and start to get hold of the furniture and stand up, and then it drops back down. We're kind of doing that at the moment with this new understanding. It's a bit like, when you first try to learn to ride a bike or you learn how to swim. It's quite difficult at first, but then it becomes quite easy the more we practice, the more we understand and practice. So just be a bit easy with yourself as you start to go through this process, because you are clearly somebody right now who has glimpsed that diamond, and you've been mining for that diamond for years. You've been digging with your pickaxe and your spade, and you've been hacking through the rock, and you've been sweating and bleeding and in pain, and your bones have been hurting, but you've been really going for it, really digging, digging, digging. And you've got to the point where, oh my God, there is the most amazing diamond there. I can see the light glinting off it. Is it? Is it a diamond? And you really can see it, but it's still hidden a little bit in the rock. But that is you. You have found yourself. And now it's about exploring that self. And we all know that a diamond is formed under a massive amount of pressure. That's what makes it the most beautiful, multifaceted, priceless gem that it is. And that is who you are. And it's such an exciting time. And I am so excited to be on this journey with all of these others that are also recognizing and realizing who they are. It's like finding my family. And I think possibly some of you might resonate with some of the things I'm saying here. I'm 53 years old, and for most of my lifetime, I've not really wanted to be here. I remember as a child looking at different things and thinking, this can't be right. It doesn't feel right. I was obviously quite empathic and aware, and, you know, kind of just things didn't resonate properly, didn't feel great. And as a child, you get those, that curiosity kind of closed down, and those things that I was interested in were seen as a bit silly and not really serious. So I kind of made myself believe that I was wrong, and my ideas and my, you know, imagination was invalidated. And that's probably the journey for most of us. But we also created this part of the game. So that is us forgetting who we are so that we can play the game completely in a disconnected way. Not that we have been fully disconnected, but we felt disconnected. We've probably felt really alone. I felt alone most of my life. Even if I've been in relationships, I've just felt misunderstood, not connected. Just like something is missing. There's just some uneasiness. There's been that throughout all of my life until recent years and recent months, especially. And I do really think that this is such an exciting time to remember and realize who we are. And I get to work with people on a daily basis as part of this remembering process. And it's so exciting for me. It really fills my heart with joy when I see someone really connecting with themselves and just being able to discard and let go of those old values and beliefs that no longer serve. It's from those old values and beliefs that we've been creating our world unconsciously, because we've created everything that we can see, hear, and touch in our world. And again, I know there's probably going to be some kickback here, people saying, yes, but why would I create an illness? Why would I create an abusive relationship? The reason why you've created that is to guide yourself back to the remembrance of who you are. And we've all had different situations, but generally they've been quite difficult. So it's so exciting. The journey's probably been quite arduous and challenging, but I think it's getting quicker for people, which is brilliant. And it's so exciting to see lots of young people now really starting to come online and be like, no, this is not the way it's going to be. So I think some people have done it the hard way and the longer way. Maybe that's been purposeful, and maybe that helps other people to do it in a bit easier way. And that's what brings me so much joy. It really does fill my heart with so much excitement and so much love that I can actually assist with that. So you've probably had lots of difficult characters, difficult situations. You've probably had lack of love, lack of money, lack of security, lack of safety, all those things, all of the fear-based things. You've probably had experience of some, if not all of those things. I know I have. And it's just, now looking back, I can see all of it has been perfect to get me to this point now. And because I'm at this point now, I'm then able to assist others in getting to that same point, because obviously I've experienced that, and it's kind of just passing that remembering on. It's a remembering, but it's like an energetic exchange. So once one person embodies this, I think it's called the 100th monkey effect. I think that's one way of putting it. So once one monkey understands how to get food from wherever, then it can be passed on to the others energetically without kind of showing and teaching in a specific way. So I really hope that if you're watching this video, you get that sense from me that you are obviously on the journey, and it's such an exciting place to be. The fact that you're starting to recognize and see that tiny glint of diamond that you've been mining for so long, and to know that you are now becoming a conscious creator, and it's now time to decide and time to think, let's play. What do I want to create? How do I want to show up in the world? What do I want to do? You have been source, God consciousness energy, creator energy, or universal flow, whatever energy you want to call it. I'm not religious, particularly anyway. It is just how things work. It's just energy, but it's universal energy, and we are all that, and we're all that in what we're perceiving as separate human bodies, but actually we're all connected. So you're now coming back to that remembering, that back to that knowing, and starting to go, ooh, dipping the toe in the water. Crikey, it feels amazing. It feels so good to be like, wow, what can I do? What can I create? What kind of interactions can I have every day? And it's really funny as well, because obviously most of it up until recent times, as I know me especially, it felt incorrect as a child to want and desire the things that people were telling me I should want and desire. But then, I thought, well, obviously I'm wrong because I'm being shown that I'm wrong. So it's right for me to want to do the traditional things, like you must have a house, you must have a career that you stay in for 50 years, and then you've got like 10 years to enjoy yourself when you retire, work hard for money, all of those things that are instilled in you. You must have like an amazing car, and it's all about the things and the material stuff that you have, not so much the experiences and the connections and the energetics of the exchanges that you have with people. I've really, really, really learned now that the more that you can drop into just the joy of being, just the joy of loving life, waking up in the morning and being like, yes, I'm in the body. And what am I going to do? How am I going to create? Who am I going to have some interaction with? And what beauty am I going to find in those things? It's so amazing how things look so different. I'm not chasing those material things anymore. They don't mean anything. What means things to me now are just the absolute amazing myriad of personalities to interact with, the different experiences, nature, just being outside in nature, being by the sea, being up a mountain, being in the forest, taking the dog out, just dipping your toe in the water, just experiencing touch, sense, taste, you know, having a nice glass of wine, a piece of chocolate, and not berating myself for that because it's wrong. It's just enjoyable. It's so exciting and amazing to be a human at this time when we're starting to remember as we're on our way back to our true essence, which is everything. We are universal flow, and we're experiencing ourselves in this body, but now we've got access to the whole of everything, and it's incredibly powerful, and it feels so exciting. And yeah, but we're all sort of toddlers at the moment, sort of trying to stand up against the furniture and then dropping back down as we're learning to walk. But that's also exciting, and I'm really excited to be doing that with you and anybody else who is really drawn to this. It's just brilliant. I'm just so excited for everything. So everything's waiting for you now on the other side of the walls that you've created up until this point. And those walls, I want you to just see them as polystyrene walls. They're so easy to break down. It doesn't have to be difficult. It really is just your awareness, which is universal flow, which is who you are, is a bit like the sun on an ice cube. Once you bring your awareness to that blockage that's in place, that old value, belief, blah, 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 that isn't you, then it just melts it, and then it becomes steam, and then it's disappeared. So it's actually a really easy process. And I really want to really make this easy for everybody. It's not difficult. It's not for just some people. It's a very easy thing to do. And, your personality, all the things that you like about your personality, the things that you don't like about your personality, how can you learn to really embrace those? How can you just be your authentic self without caring what other people think? I've spent a lifetime caring about what other people think. People think, have said you're too intimidating, you're scary, you're this, you're too tall, your legs are like spaghetti sticks, or anything. I've just all the time been like, oh, I must look a certain way, I must be a certain way, I must do certain things, I must act like this. But actually now I'm just really enjoying starting to explore my authentic personality. And there's been quite a lot of really amazing teachers on my journey that have been on my path that I've put there. that have really helped me to show that it's beautiful to be your authentic self. And you know yourself when you meet somebody that is truly authentic, it just feels amazing. It feels like coming home. And that's what it should feel like. And I'm so looking forward to lots of interactions with many more people that are also at this kind of in this same space, at this same stage, or whatever you want to call it, on the journey that's now just starting to be like, where, hey, let's create the most beautiful life that we could ever imagine. Um, One thing that my mentor taught me was to really imagine what your most perfect day would be like, but just really getting into the feeling of what it would feel like to wake up, what it would feel like to be really on purpose with your work, with what you do in a day. What would it feel like to have the most amazing relationship? Just really sort of get really into the creation of that perfect day. And it's the energy that we can summon within our bodies that we then emit into the world, that is then reflected back to us in the people, places, and things. That is how creation works. It's quite simple, but we've just never been taught it. So, if you know that there are some things that are holding you back still, there's some blockages in the way that are not who you actually are, then just know that it's very easy to just knock down those polystyrene blocks. They might look really hard and difficult to get through, but if you actually get up to them and just touch them, they'll just fall down. They're not hard to get through. And that's the message that I'd like to bring to people now that are on this journey. It doesn't have to be hard. It can be actually very simple. And I've been so privileged to work with so many people now in helping to do this. So you are now recognizing that you are far more vast and unfathomable than the mind can possibly construct. You're beyond it. You can now start to reconnect with your authenticity, with your gentleness, with your beautiful heart, and with the energy of love. You can just start to now step forward unapologetically you into the world and just have the most magical experience as you start to do this. So I'm just really pleased that I can be in a space now after knocking down all of my polystyrene walls where I can just get to connect and just feel the amazing excitement and the deep, deep, unconditional love that I have for the world, that I have for myself, and that I have for you. So just remember, you are an incredibly powerful creative being. You are a beautiful soul. You are universal flow. And decide, how do you want to play the next chapter of your game?